Hey guys, it's Friday the 19th and there's some big news in the CFL before we get to the preview. The Saskatchewan Roughriders announced today that they have fired head coach Greg Marshall and offensive coordinator Doug Barry. Ken Miller will return to the sidelines to coach the Riders for the rest of the year. Now Week 8 concludes with a West Division battle at Commonwealth Stadium. The 5-2 Eskimos will be looking to break their mini slump, and the Lions are looking to capture their second win of this season. The last time these two teams met, Edmonton walked away victorious, downing the Leos 33-17. Now there will be several lineup changes for the Eskimos, as their top 4 receivers are sidelined with injury. Preche Rodriguez will make his green and gold debut, and I know the fans are hoping for his play to reflect his Hamilton days, rather than the failed Regina experiment. Alongside him is former Lion Dobson Collins. I must admit, I'm still wary about the signing of Collins. It was his inability to hold the ball, which got him released from BC and earned him the nickname Dropson Collins. However, I would like to see what he can do with a simplified playbook. Now, also new to the team are 2 offensive linemen, Devin Tyler and Chris Patrick. It's the hope of many an Eskimo fan that these additions will immediately improve the sagging play of the offensive line. Now finally, there's kick returner Ryan Gricemullin. I'm still not convinced the issue has entirely been the returner. It's hard to get upfield when you can't get a block. But he is an explosive runner, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Now, despite having only a few days for the new guys to get integrated, I am optimistic about the Eskimo offense, if only because they want to make up for a pitiful 4-point showing last week. Now, the defense continues to be a bright spot, allowing under 300 yards passing and only 2 touchdowns in Montreal last week, forcing the Owls to put the rest of the points up off Sean White's right foot. Now, they are leading the league in interceptions and are sitting in a relatively good spot on the sack list, having brought down opposing quarterbacks 10 times. Cause for concern, though, may be starting to emerge in the run defense. Against Toronto 2 weeks ago, they gave up 2 running touchdowns in the first half alone, which is odd for any Rich Stubler defense and simply unacceptable to the Eskimos. Now on the other side of the ball, Travis Lulay will be back behind center after being pulled in the second half in favor of Jarius Jackson. His most likely targets will be G-Roy Simon and Arland Bruce, both of whom had small production games against the Bombers. Joining them will be Paris Jackson, who replaces an unproductive Kamau Peterson and is another very familiar face in the orange and white. Jamal Robertson also rejoins the lineup after missing last week with a sore Achilles tendon. Again, though, their big issue is protection. The Lions' offensive line gave up 4 sacks last week, and both quarterbacks spent the majority of their time running for their lives. The O-line needs to condense and contain a swarming Eskimo defense if they ever want to give Lulay a chance. Now, their defense did a good job in the first half last week, allowing only a field goal by the Bombers, but disintegrated quickly in the second half. They allowed 17 points in the third quarter alone, which was ultimately their demise. However, they are sitting up higher on the sack list than the Eskimos, tallying 14 of them over the first 7 games, and I'll be surprised if they can't add to that against a rejigged offensive line. The Lions are hungry for their second win. Nobody wants to head into a bye week on a low note, especially when that note rings in at 1-7. But I think Edmonton is still the better team and will be able to rediscover their winning ways, but just barely.